Up until the 80s, we were doing fine with our big hydel projects. That slowed down. We discovered a whole bunch of gas all the way up until the 90s. We have an abundance of gas, right, that we can use and deploy. 60s onwards was the development of the infrastructure for our industrial economy. And that industrial economy saw that gas is super cheap. Let's build that industrial economy on the reliance of this super cheap gas.
Absolutely.
The pricing of which was determined by
the government.
And the government, because there was so much of it, decided to price it super cheap, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So we had an industry that had access to cheap energy, and they grew accustomed to it.
So now this cheap energy, and when we say industry, the majority of this industry that relied on gas is the big four, as I would call it, would be textiles, would be fertilizer, would be cement, and would be steel.
Steel, sugar
to a certain amount. So, and from the sound of what I've named, these are the big five cartels that run the country.
Yeah.
So how did this kind of play out? Because I mean, you had cheap gas, you're building out the industrial economy, these guys are building out infrastructure, and today it is these very five industries that seem to be controlling some of the outcomes we see.
Absolutely. I mean, this is how it's playing out, right? Since you're asking for the long...
Because I want to understand, because look, I don't think anyone in my age group or younger actually understands why are we here today.
Yeah.
We just see a bill and we're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
We are here today, if I put it really simply for you, right? And Faizan, one thing I've learned in my almost 20 years of journalism, which basically involves the very close observation of things happening on your beat. So my beat has been the economy. Close observation of Pakistan's economy and its economic management over the past 20 years has taught me one thing that's very important to understand. The answer, the reality in Pakistan is actually a lot simpler than people realize. And one of the reasons why a lot of analysts tend to miss what is happening in Pakistan's economy is because they overthink it. They're asking complex questions born from really complex models and complex economic thinking that is designed to understand and explain developments in an advanced industrial economy. But you're dealing with a very simple thing over here. What's happened in Pakistan is that we had a good run of things through the 60s. I know that some of our industry and business leaders will disagree, but through the 70s as well, fixed capital formation was continuing in Pakistan. It may have slowed down, and in 80s it continued again, right? So we were adding, for example, in southern Punjab is a massive power generation hub in Pakistan. So Capco is over there, Muzaffargarh thermal generation station is over there, Guddu, which is not southern Punjab technically, but it's close enough. It's just across the border. Is over there, and then between them you've got a massive cluster of power generation centers over there, because that's where the gas fields were located. So the gas fields were then providing these plants with the fuel. These plants were turning that into electricity, and then the load centers were nearby. So Guddu was equidistant from Karachi, Lahore, and Quetta.